Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our first session of Clarity During Unprecedented Times. If you've not come across me before, because a lot of you will be new to the group, my name is Anwin Ba. I'm a business wealth strategist, helping businesswomen become excellent money managers by understanding your numbers, optimizing your system, business, and processes, and building your investment portfolio so that you can scale your business, increase your income, and get more time back. With Wealth Fluency, it's all about building wealth, growing wealth, protecting your wealth, and transferring your wealth to the next generation. That's what we're all about. So today's session is an overview of the relief package that has been offered by the UK government. So this is all for my UK business owners in here. Thanks for those jumping on live, and thanks for those watching on replay. If you have any questions, please do pop it in the comments below. If I don't respond to it during this live, I'll respond to it in the comments or in a following session if I see that it's quite a intricate kind of answer. So let's get started. So this is mainly for business owners that are in the UK and that have been trading for at least 3 years, because with a lot of this information and how you can get access to this is basically by being able to show that you have been profitable, what your turnover has been, and so on and so forth, to the government. So to the agencies that you're putting in place for you to be able to apply for these loans and these schemes that are out there. So off the bat, these are the 10 things that the government has put in place for UK business owners to be able to surf through this corona pandemic. So do listen out, do listen to this, and I'll be talking to you about it individually in different sessions. This, again, as the title says, is an overview of everything that is there. Over the next coming days, I'll be telling you about each of them individually and how you can access it and how you can apply for every single one of these, and how you can see if you're eligible for it as well. All of this would be part of the sessions that I'll be covering here in Clarity During Unprecedented Times. Okay, so let's get started. So if you heard on the 26th, I think it was, of March, which was last week, Chancellor Rishi came out and basically explained the relief package that he will be putting in place, or the government will be putting in place, to support small business owners, to support self-employed, and also to support the unemployed. I have attached the session that he did in this feed. So if you go further up in the feed or further down in the feed, depending when you join, you would see that there's a watch party basically covering that press release. Do watch it, because a lot of it will be delving down into every single thing that he has said in that, which is all what this is all about. Clarity in all what he said and how you can access it. It's no point there being 10 million available, but then you can't access it, right? So let's get started. So what the Chancellor has said is that he's setting out a package of temporary, timely targeted measures to support public services, people, businesses through the period of disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. So these are all temporary, and these should last, I think, 3 months. He has said 3 months, but he's willing to extend it further if needs be. So for now, let's just count on the 3 months that he has officially declared. So the very first thing, so the packages include different measures to support business owners, and the very first one is a coronavirus job retention scheme. Okay, and the corona job retention scheme is basically being able to, let me explain this. So what the job retention scheme is a temporary scheme that's open to all UK employers for at least 3 months. Remember, again, this 3 months would be a running theme throughout all of this. For at least 3 months to support employees whose operations have been severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, and this is where the furlough comes in. This is where the 80% comes in. This is where the 2,500 that has been branded around comes in. I am going to go into this in further detail in a session specific just to the coronavirus job retention scheme, what it means, what it doesn't mean, what it's applicable for, what's not applicable for, and what that means for your business. So if you're on a furlough, what you can do and what you can't do. Okay, then the second thing that they've put in place is also deferring VAT and self-assessment payments. Okay, so why they're deferring this is because, again, coronavirus literally ripped through the world in Q4 and Q1. Okay, so Q4 of last year and Q1 of this year has been a total disruption to businesses. Some got impacted earlier than others. So a lot of the businesses that have a massive trade with China got impacted in Q4. So they would have seen the ramifications much earlier. And then as a ripple effect and the pandemic started spreading, that's when other businesses got impacted. And it would have probably hit them more in Q1 of this year. So that is why they deferred the VAT and self-assessment, because it hit businesses so suddenly that a lot of them had to react quickly and cash flow might have been a struggle. So just giving them time to reassess and also time for the accountants and so forth to look at the different benefits out there and then being able to advise their clients accordingly so that they pay the right taxes and also the self-assessment goes through properly. And because of everything that's going on, your attention is elsewhere. So this giving, again, a bit more time for you to relax, breathe, get back to some sort of stability. I know it will not be stable, but some sort of stability to know what is what. Okay, so that's that. And then another thing that they've put in place is the self-assessment employment income support scheme. So it's the self-employment income support scheme, and this again is for those that are self-employed. Okay, and this is meant to be paid until again July 2020, and it's for those that have been impacted again with COVID-19. The whole theme here is COVID-19, but again I'll go much further into detail into this in the future sessions. So you can totally come here and just look through. So I'm going to be putting them as units in the unit section, and you can go through and just pick which unit you want to listen to and then listen to that and then jot your questions as you want and I'll answer them. Sometimes I might need to know a little bit more about your situation, and sometimes I'll also ask you to speak to maybe your accountant or speak to one of the qualified professionals out there so you get a full picture. Because again, from here, except if you give me much more information, I only have a certain view, and a lot of my information is not legal advice and is not financial advice. Okay, this is just me sharing my guidance, and it's up to you again to seek legal advice, to seek financial advice before taking any steps. So none of this is any legal advice whatsoever. I just want to put that disclaimer out there just to make sure that we're all on the same page in regards to the information I'm sharing here. Then the next thing as well now is the Statutory Sickbay relief package for small and medium-sized businesses. So again, small and medium-sized businesses now can partake into the Statutory Sickbay. This is a big win because again, as a small business owner, if you're sick, you deal with it yourself. Right now, they're putting benefits in place for you to be able to do that. Bear with me. Then the next thing that they've put in place is a 12-month business rates holiday for retail, hospitality, leisure, nursery businesses in England. Okay, what might happen is that Scotland might have a different view, as well as Wales might have a different view. But this is for England, and I'm specifying it for England because that's what we have been told, that is for England. So I am going to do a little bit more research and see what's happening in Scotland and Wales. But for those that are in England, there's a 12 months business rates holiday to all retail, hospitality, leisure, and nursery businesses. Okay, and then the next initiative that they've put in place, or the next package that they've put in place, is a small business grant funding of £10,000 for all businesses in receipt of small business rate relief or rural rate relief. Okay, so if you are already receiving a small business rate relief or a rural rate relief, then there's a £10,000 grant that you can have access to. So if you fall within that category and you need the extra liquidity, the extra cash flow, then by all means reach out and see what is available to you, what you will be eligible for. Okay, and then the next package is a grant funding. So that's a grant funding of £25,000 for retail, hospitality and leisure businesses with property with a relatable value between £15,000 and £51,000. So if you have, so first category is, are you a business? Are you in the retail, hospitality or leisure sector? If you are, do you have a property that has a relatable value between £15,000 and £51,000? If that's a yes, then you might be eligible for a grant funding. Okay, there's a grant funding of up to £25,000. One thing that I need to explain to you here is that when we say loan, loans are repayable. When we say grants are not repayable. So a loan you have to pay. When you take out a loan, like the next one that I'm going to tell you about, let me just tell you. The next package is the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, offering loans of up to £5 million for small and medium-sized enterprises, small and medium-sized business owners, through the British Business Bank. So now I'm going to explain the difference to you between a grant and a loan. So far, the small business grant of £10,000, also the grant funding of £25,000, these are grants. Then we have the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. This is a loan. So if you're applying, if you fall within the category of those that are eligible for the grants, which usually tends to be retail, hospitality, leisure, then the grant is not payable. So if you apply for the grant and you are granted the grant, then you do not have to pay it back. Okay? If you apply for a loan, on the other hand, so let's say you apply for the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan and you do receive the loan you have to pay back. Okay, you have to pay back. So when I am talking more about this loan and who it's applicable for and how you apply and blah, 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 I'll be able to tell you more than if there's an interest rate, how long you can take the loan out for, and all that information that you need to be able to decide if this is for you or not. And before going into all this taking money, we also have to look at the fact of how do you assess if you need this money or not. Are you able to survive the next 3 to 6 months without this injection of money? That is what we need to look at first, and that's what you need to look at first before you go ahead and take out whether a loan, a grant, or whatever the case might be. Because again, the kind of information that they're going to ask you is for them as well, these agencies, to ascertain if you really need it. Okay, and also if you're eligible for it, if you fall within the categories that has been predefined by the government. All right, then the other package that they've made available is a new lending facility from the Bank of England to help support liquidity among larger firms, helping them bridge coronavirus disruption to their cash flow through loans. Okay, here the government, what they're doing is categorizing each of their packages based on the size of the business. Okay, so we have the 5 million that is available to SMEs, and then we have this lending facility via the Bank of England, which is for larger firms. Okay, these are for larger firms. So if you are a large firm here, probably you'd have already heard about this, but if not, I'm going to go further into that as well, and also explain to you what the government defines as a large firm, because that'll be very important for you to know if that you fall within that category or not. And the very last point there is the HMRC time to pay scheme. And what is the HMRC time to pay scheme? Well, this is a new initiative that has been again provided by the government to support you during this time. So it's a bit like the deferred payments. It's a bit like the deferred payments for your tax and your VAT. That is what the scheme is all about. Again, I am going to tell you a bit more about this, but it's for all businesses and self-employed people in financial distress and without outstanding tax liabilities. So that is why this is so important, because you need to have your finances in order to be able to reach out to a lot of these organizations and to be able to be eligible for these packages that the government is putting together. Okay, so make sure you have no tax liability, make sure you're up to date with all of your tax compliance, and then we can go to the next steps after that. Again, I am going to do a session around how you identify if you're tax compliant. And these are very easy, just tick box exercises, as in you've made up your VAT payments and all your payments up to a certain time period, and so on and so forth. Again, I'm going to give you more information on that. I don't want to bombard you with too much information now on the various packages that has been made available, because I'm going to go into each of these packages specifically. So if you have any questions around each of these packages, again, drop your questions down below, and I'll make sure that during that session I am answering every single one of these questions. Okay, and where I do not know the answer, I will go get the answer for you. That's how serious I am about this. So those were the packages that has been put in place for small business owners and larger businesses as well, or larger firms, to support you during these unprecedented times, basically. So I hope that I've provided you with some clarity as to the different options that are out there for you. I've given you some food for thought in regards to what is out there. So there is support out there. It's just a matter of understanding who they're for, what they're for, how you can access it, and if you're eligible to it. That's all it is, and that's what I'm providing in this space, under clarity during unprecedented time, because these are unprecedented times. I've not lived through a pandemic in my lifetime, and I know quite a lot of you haven't. The last time we had a pandemic was, I think, the Black Plague. So it has been quite a while indeed. So let's make the most of this, of all what is out there, and let's not let our business fall because of lack of information or because of lack of clarity. Okay, so that will be it for today's session around the overview of the different relief packages that the UK government has made available to us as small business owners in the UK. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments below. Until the next session, have a good day. Bye bye for now.